business principles. On today's segment, we're going to discuss stabilizing your chiropractic revenue. How much of your income should be recurring? If you've been following what Jason and I have been talking about, you might have heard a concept called the PayDay Practice. PayDay Practice has sponsored this segment because it's all about building recurring revenue. And part of the first question you might have is, well, how much recurring revenue? What's that optimum balance? How should I think and consider this? If I develop my SMART goals, as we've discussed earlier this year, how do I build a framework to understand what I should be shooting for? What's too much? What's too little? Jason, when we talk about building recurring revenue, stabilizing income, so there's not that roller coaster or yo-yo, it is about diversifying, not eliminating. So keep your fee for service, have fun with it, take care of people, but lower your stress by serving them at a higher level and building some recurring revenue into that process. I'll let you take it away.
Well, we have found, just like if somebody were to come to you as a chiropractor, more often than not, if you do an analysis of what's really going on causing their problem, it is likely that you may come to the conclusion that there is a vertebral subluxation or motion restriction, whatever language you choose to use. As chiropractors, we tend to understand that there's likely something going on in the spine affecting the nerve system and therefore interfering with their body's ability to heal itself the way it is designed to do. And I use that as a metaphor because when Jeff and I assess what's going on in the profession, perhaps in your practice too, that the number one issue most chiropractors are suffering from is monthly financial stress. The constant stress that every single month you pray that there's more money than month. In other words, that you have enough in collections to cover all your monthly expenses, specifically your monthly recurring expenses. Now, I know that there's, other types of expenses, your dream account, your vacation account, the things you hope for retirement, but the things you know for sure are you're going to have rent or a mortgage, you're going to have payroll, you're going to have taxes, you're going to have insurance expenses, auto expenses, education expenses, student loan expenses. There is guaranteed expenses that you're going to have next month and the month after that and the month after that and so on. And so what we're bringing to the profession is a conversation and a consciousness that today's most successful businesses with the highest valuations are actually built on this exact premise that has not yet crept its way into our profession yet. But if you're smart and you're paying attention, we can learn from success and model after success. And here's how it works. The concept of the PayDay Practice is that you calculate what we refer to as your MVMI, your minimum viable monthly income. In plain English, that's your monthly overhead, the expenses that you have to cover each and every month that are non-negotiable, you've committed to. And so the suggestion is, in order to eliminate your financial stress forever, is if you're able to set up monthly recurring revenue that meets your monthly recurring expenses every month guaranteed. Imagine if the first day of every month were to transform from, right? Oh, we just had a great month. We killed it. We had our highest collections ever, most new patients ever. The first of the month comes, and what happens to all your numbers? They go back to zero. In which case, we all get the pit in our stomach and we go, here come all the bills. I hope here comes all the money. And as I've heard many times before, hope is not a strategy. So what would happen if you transformed the first of the month from, oh man, back to zero in collections, here come all the bills, and turned it into payday? That's the concept, that the first of the month you are generating enough monthly recurring revenue to meet your monthly recurring expenses so that from the second day of the month through the rest of the month, it is mostly fun, profit, and freedom. We'll get into more detail about that later, but your question was, what percentage of your revenue should be monthly recurring revenue. And the answer is whatever percentage your current overhead is the percentage that your monthly recurring revenue should be your goal. Now, very few people, if anyone, reaches that in month 1 or month 2 or month 3. There is a process to building your monthly recurring revenue. But if you are a long game thinker, an infinite game thinker, as we've mentioned earlier because of Simon Sinek's book, if you want to think about not just how do I fix my crisis of now, but think about how do I really start a plan to reduce my financial stress forever, then this is the most solid, easiest, most consistent, guaranteed plan to get you out of that monthly financial stress. Now, there are multiple ways to generate monthly recurring revenue. We'll talk about that in other segments, or you can read the book, The PayDay Practice. You'll find it within our information that we have. But the concept is, the takeaway here is to start thinking about how you can. When I went to Life University, I spent years, I went to almost every Dynamic Essentials seminar there, and it was ingrained in me. In fact, what inspired me to become a chiropractor was the ethos, the culture, the concept and philosophy of giving, loving, and serving out of a state of abundance. And that's the part that oftentimes givers forget. They got the give, love, and serve, but they forget the simple concept that you can't give away when you're the one in need. I mean, yes, you can. You go, oh, I don't have anything, here you go. But over time, that is not a sustainable model. That is very much like the patients who come to your practice, probably moms the most, who give themselves sick. In other words, they come to your practice hurt, suffering, often with chronic lifestyle diseases, not because they don't know what to do, but because they're so generous and caring and concerned about their kids and their family and other people that they give themselves away sick. And you want to make sure you don't do the same thing. If you are under more financial stress than most of the people who are coming to you for care, you've got the equation backwards. You want to be in a state yourself that you can afford to tell the truth, that you can afford to be generous. And yeah, if you want to give care away or do whatever fee for service or whatever you're doing now that you know works, build that on top of the foundation of the confidence and certainty that you know each and every month, whatever level of your monthly recurring expenses are, you understand the brilliance, the genius, the smarts of generating monthly recurring revenue to meet that number. If your overhead's 50%, then you want to be generating 50% of your revenue, monthly recurring revenue. If you're got your expenses low and your income high, it's only 15, 20, 25%. First of all, good for you. And second of all, that's your goal for generating monthly recurring revenue. That's how it works. If you want to eliminate your monthly financial stress that most people suffer, regardless of how big of a practice, I don't care if you're a $100,000 a year practice, $1 million a year practice, or multiple $1 million a year practice, if you're not generating monthly recurring revenue in order to meet your monthly recurring expenses, I assure you, you feel financial stress, and hope is not a strategy. Be smart, follow the PayDay Practice principles. That's what we're suggesting you do to stabilize your chiropractic revenue.
Jason, thank you for breaking that down and really helping docs understand the concepts behind recurring revenue so that then they can take those steps needed to implement. And stabilizing revenue and income is incredibly important. In so many practices, revenue and income are directly proportional. And being able to open up a new business line, a new vertical, being able to create recurring revenue, as you said, can help not only decrease the stress, which is a lifestyle plus in and amongst itself, but it can also offer some separation. It can make your practice less vulnerable. It can give you so many tremendous new opportunities to really utilize the skill set by teaching and inviting consistently. You don't need to think about recurring revenue. I'm going to encourage you, you shouldn't think about recurring revenue in terms of sales. This is really about serving and understanding who is your ideal patient. What are they purchasing relative to healthcare? Everybody is. And is that something that makes sense in your practice? And one of the best ways to do it is with our line of Basis Health supplements, which we recently launched with our Smart Care store system. Everybody, everyday supplements. We know 80% of people coming into chiropractic practices are purchasing supplements, many of them low quality, dubious origin, you name it. So being able to guide and direct to your own online store, or providing those services that you do fee for service model, but building out a membership program around it. That's another way to approach it. There's an array of ways you can approach this. We're going to talk much more about this as we continue to unfold the story of the PayDay Practice. But the most important thing for you listening and watching right now is just to start feeling out these concepts. If it's new to you, it might seem a little scary, it might seem a little intimidating, it might seem like it's not for you. We're going to encourage subscribe, click the notifications, stay involved in this show week in and week out, because I'll personally guarantee as we continue to unfold the story, I am sure you are going to find something in this realm that makes sense to you, can benefit your patients, and can really change the trajectory of your practice. Jason?
You said it. I want to make sure people are hearing this, because this is not just a, nifty idea. It is your life. And here's what I mean by that. You mentioned this. I just want to dig deeper into it. There will be a day. I don't know what day that will be, but there will be a day that for some reason you're not able to generate revenue being over your table. You may choose to move. You may want to sell your practice. You may get injured. You may want to retire. You may want to take some time off. There may be another pandemic. There will be some reason at some point, I guarantee you, that you're unable to generate revenue by being over a table, which is how chiropractors generate revenue. So if you are a long-term thinker, like we keep saying, then reverse engineer your future. Think about whatever your future goals might be. And I have been, and I know many, maybe most chiropractors that fear the day that they have to start over somewhere else, or don't have the right insurances in place and have an injury, or somehow wish they didn't have to be in a specific location for so long. Maybe you want to continue to provide care, but somewhere else. The idea of starting over with zero income is daunting and paralyzes most chiropractors to stay where they are and suffer. So not only does it eliminate your financial stress today so you can have freedom forever, it is an insurance policy for your future. If you follow our instructions and you understand really the psychology of all of this, you have ultimate freedom for the rest of your career. And again, there's no one way to do this. You can sell your services with your hands, you can sell your knowledge with your mind, or you can sell your favorite things that people are buying anyway. We'll show you the details on how to do those things, but I just want to make sure this is the reason Jeff and I have really sort of focused and specifically focused our messaging, our business, to be able to help chiropractors with this specific issue is because, like subluxations are the major cause of most people's health concerns. Financial stress is the number one cause of most chiropractors. Burnout, frustration, and lack of ability to be of ultimate generous service to those people who want the care they can have the most. You are not doing your best work if you are financially stressed, and there is a solution to that. Handle the finances so you don't need the money, and you can afford to provide the care to the people you want to the people you don't want to, with the payers you want to, with the payers you don't want to, and you have control and freedom of the choices you get to make in the future. That's our way of helping you help more people. That's our vision, and that's why you will hear us for many months and years to come hammering this concept, because the number one most important thing holding our profession back, holding your practice back, is financial stress. If you could afford to share your truth without having to go, but what am I going to get in return? But because you know it's the right thing, then you will collect people who agree with you over time, and you will find that you have a stronger base of loyal people who want to be with you for the long run, which gets you off this treadmill, this trap, this roller coaster, revolving door style practice of people coming in and people leaving, because most people think you go to the chiropractor to get rid of your symptoms and leave. And as long as that continues to be the case, because we continue to put that message out there, we are going to, I think, be the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting some sort of different outcome or result. So pay attention. Monthly recurring revenue, MRR, is the name of the game. Stay tuned for more information. If you've got questions, leave them down below. If you want more information, check out the PayDay Practice ebook.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to the Smart Chiropractor. We are posting videos on how you can market your chiropractic practice in a way that teach and invites consistently. We have found that is the magic formula to big time growth. So if you like this video, be sure to comment down below, smash that subscribe button, or visit us at thesmartchiropractor.com.